Hello.
Hello. Sorry about the delay, everyone.
Yeah, we were having some technical difficulties in getting our live up and running. So we appreciate you hanging with us. And if you had to leave and watch it back, hi, we're sorry that happened, but we're excited to be here with you. And if you are new, this is your first webinar that you're watching with us. My name is Katie Robinette,
And I'm Carrie Jackson.
and we co-founded Evermore Financial Services. Which is an accounting, bookkeeping, business consulting firm that we started in 2016, and which is the reason that we can start business bookkeeping on a budget, which is where the webinars live. So we're excited to have you, and we're excited to talk about a very relevant topic that's coming up, which is the changes to the labor laws and the overtime rules. Specifically, we're going to talk about us here in Ohio, but every state has different requirements.
Yeah.
Different thresholds and different requirements. So Carrie's going to start us off talking a little bit more about the overtime rule. We'll just let us know if you have any questions. You can jump into a comment or a chat and let us know. And if you have any after the fact, if you watch the webinar back and you want to let us know, just leave a comment or something. That way we know. We're going to address different different things to do with hiring and labor and pay, in more webinars than just the one. So if you have a question, we'll address it in a later webinar.
Yes. So the Federal Labor Standards Act has passed a new rule that goes into effect July the 1st. That now states that anyone that makes federally, this is the federal law, that anyone that works over 40 hours in a work week must get paid time and a half for their work. And that would include salary employees, whereas before some of those salary employees were exempt. Like Katie said, every state is different. Some states will require that overtime is paid daily if you work over 8 hours. Holiday pay is time and a half. So every state is different. For Ohio, it is 40 hours in a work week. And then overtime is time and a half. And then it does include hours that are, there is a lot of hybrid workers now. There's a lot of people solely working remotely, so it does include those workers. So basically now I would encourage that you have some kind of system where your employees can clock in and out, because you need to keep track now of hours worked for all employees, whether they're remote or they're clocking in at some facility that you'll need to know. That would include, even if somebody is the time that they're spending working, just answering emails or phone or text, if they're expected to be on call, you have to include those hours.
Yeah, there were salary thresholds for salaried employees. So it wasn't just hourly employees that were subject to overtime. And the current salary threshold is $35,568 for a salaried employee. But starting July 1st, that is going to increase. So it's true, Carrie's right. You do need to pay attention to the number of hours worked because this counts for salaried employees. So even if you think that you're paying someone a fair wage on a salary, you may have an exemption, you may not. You do need to make sure that you're in compliance with the new labor law. So this is going to be a 65% increase from our current eligibility threshold. And starting July 1st, it's going to be salaried workers who make $43,888 in a calendar year, which works out to $844 a week. And then on January 1st, 2025, note that it'll be salaried employees who make less than $58,656 in a year. That's $1,128 a week in pay. I think I said less than, for $43,888. If I didn't say that, that's what I meant. So it's people that make less than that, salaried employees, are now going to be subject to overtime.
Yeah, and that is expected to increase every 3 years. The Department of Labor, it is expected to increase. Every 3 years, they're going to do a new evaluation. obviously there are people that are already trying to fight this in court, but for right now, the minimum, as Katie said, is the 43,888. So be prepared for that starting July the 1st. Some of the hours that this would include would also include travel time. So it's not the time that an employee is driving to and from work from their home, but it is if they have to travel for their job to a different location, it does include that time. So if it's just like if you have somebody that is a traveling salesperson or traveling to meetings or to a work event, that time is included if they're required to be at that event. There's also time, so for, you still do not have to count their time for when they're clocking in and out for lunch. Anything 30 minutes or more, you don't have to include their time. Now for breaks, for 20-minute breaks, you do need to start including their time for breaks. If it's 20 minutes or less, it's considered working time. And then I think that about covers all of it. I don't have anything else, do you?
No, I don't think so. It's the labor law. I'm going to read what the NFIB has said. So like Carrie was saying, there are already people that are in court that are trying to fight this. You can't rely on that though. So it's
Right.
June 12th. We follow the NFIB, which is for small businesses. It's a help for small businesses all of the time, just to see what updates are coming out and what information, and they're the advocate for us as small businesses. So they generally will take issues to court if they think that it's, too complicated, it's not going to serve us. So they have a quote out right now that I wanted to read that said, the Department of Labor's final rule is an additional complicated and expensive government mandate that small businesses have to navigate at a time when small business optimism is historically low. This is their executive director of NFIB's Small Business Legal Center. The Department of Labor does not have the legal authority to raise the salary threshold or include automatic updates. The small business community asks the court to consider the needs of Main Street and stop the Department of Labor from enforcing this regulation.
So really, I mean, it comes down to, it looks like the Department of Labor is really passing this law to encourage employers to hire more instead of paying overtime. So I guess you would really need to take into consideration now if it's worth it to pay the salaried employees, making them clock in and out, see who really is working overtime, and whether it's worth it to you to pay their salary at time and a half, or if it's, maybe more economical to hire a new person. And I think this is just a geared towards making employers hire, which is unfortunate because we have a labor crisis in the country. So just our thoughts on that.
Yes, and we'll keep you updated as new information comes out. They just released that statement on May 22nd, the NFIB did, and there's still ongoing court cases about this, and there will be, I'm sure, for some time, but final ruling has come out, and it is going to be July 1st, so you can't wait on that, or bank on the fact that it may get thrown out to use that as an excuse or a reason why you wouldn't be compliant, because they are going to be looking out for people to be in compliance with this. And Ohio has its set of rules on top of the Department of Labor, and it's got auditors
so
that are looking out for that.
If you have questions specific to your company, I would encourage you to reach out to an employment lawyer and get their guidance on that. But as of right now, that is the new rule.
Yes, and any advice that we give cannot be considered legal advice. We have to say that, but it just carries right. Our opinion is, we'll give our opinion based off of what company you have. If you have questions, but it is unfortunate. It does seem like there is a push to hire more, or just make the decision. Whether or not you want to pay overtime, or whether you want to hire new employees, or whether you want to outsource, are all good questions, and questions that we as business owners need to ask, and then do cost analysis, benefit analyses on what one is the right decision for your company, because they each come with pros and they each come with some drawbacks.
Right. Yeah. If you need help doing any cost analysis, just give us a call. We'd be happy to help.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated and let us know if you have any questions. We appreciate your patience and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.